Hey guys, welcome back to another video. In this video, I realized that I have not shared my new computer setup, and I wanted to share with you guys. I think it's cool to kind of document within my YouTube channel, especially as I reflect back, later throughout the time. Later within the future, I can reflect off of this moment and see the documentation within the process. But also too, I wanted to share with you guys my new computer setup and the reason why I changed my computer setup. So my computer setup is, if you haven't noticed already, I recently have a new camera setup, camera angle setup. Before I used to record content, I will take a picture of it as well so you can see it, but I used to have a stand on my desk, and I would, have my MagSafe from my iPhone connect to the stand, and I would have to physically, pick up my phone, put it on, connect it via the MagSafe through the magnet, and I would also have to plug in my microphone to record content. And throughout the time, in the very beginning, it really wasn't too much of a big deal. But what began to become a big deal was on the days when I wasn't feeling the greatest. So the days when my respiratory, for example, started to affect me, and the reason why I mentioned my respiratory is because I began to feel under the weather. So when you feel under the weather, what happens? You begin to feel more fatigue. Well, me having SMA and me being under the weather is not the greatest thing. It's not the um, it obviously makes you feel a lot more fatigue twice as much, right? And so setting up my phone when I'm not feeling under the weather, was okay. It was fine because I would have those good days. But sometimes there were those bad days when again I'm feeling under the weather, or simply I'm just having one of those bad days physically when I'm just not doing so good with my SMA. So on the days when I had to create content, it was a little bit of a challenge for me to set up my phone, connect my microphone, move back and forth with my wheelchair to get the camera angle right, and click record and do that entire setup. And then I had to transfer it from my phone to my computer to edit it and upload it. It was just a little bit more of a process. And yeah, although I could ask my mom, for example, to like set up my phone so I can create content and stuff, it's I just try my absolute best to kind of keep my independence as much as possible while I still have that independency. If that makes any sense. Pretty much, if you don't use it, you lose it. And so I ended up brainstorming, and I was thinking about ways on how I can improve the quality of my content. And I ended up coming across this camera that I can utilize for my computer. I can hook it up to my computer and adjust. I can set up the camera and angle it the way that I need it to, and I can do this. So that's how I have this entire setup right here, and I like it because like the camera angle is just consistent. I think it looks really really nice. And also too, I was able to, before I would have to move my microphone back and forth, but now I no longer have to. I can just keep it here. Do this. Of course, I can swing it out. I can swing it out if I needed. So when I'm in front of my computer and my microphone's in the way or whatever, I can move it if needed. And also something I also really want to mention, because to me it's important, and I will explain more in a second. But here, behind me is behind me on top, right? If you have been keeping up with my content for a while, you will notice that the top, where the Buddhas are, there's also a tree in the background, and right there was actually something there prior to, which was a cowboy hat, but it was filled up with it was a cowboy hat that was filled up with like some form of like tequila. I think it was tequila. And anyhow, but the I wanted to, as I was like reflecting off of my content, I was like, I need to change my background setup. And for me, it's one, really quickly, is I'm not much of a drinker. I Every once in a while I will have a drink. I'm over the age, right? But every once in a while I will have a drink. But I don't personally drink much often. I just happened to get that as a Christmas gift, and it was cool. It was unique, literally like one of a kind. It's very unique. You don't come across something like that. And I like cowboy stuff, things like that. So it was a gift, and I thought it was pretty cool. So I ended up putting it in the back of my corner. But as I was reflecting off of my content, as I was reflecting off of the message that I talk about and I put out, which is like growth. I talk about growth. I talk about mindset. I talk about breaking mental barriers. And for me, it just didn't align with the message that I wanted to push out. And and as I was like talking, sharing that with my mom, I was telling her like my thought process on that, and as I was sharing that with my brother and my siblings and stuff, my brother, my sister, even my cousin that I'm really close to, as I was sharing them, like where my thought process was with that, they were like, "Yeah, I understand," you know. And but yeah, so my thought process was couldn't be, I just didn't like how that was in the background when I'm here talking about like growth and mindset and things like that, and I have like a tequila thing in the background. You know, it's unopened, but still, I just feel like it didn't suit my brand. So I was thinking, I was just brainstorming. I ended up buying the camera. I ended up buying the camera for my computer to upgrade my setup, and also I ended up coming across. I wanted something in the background back there, and I was like, "What can I replace it with?" And me personally, I didn't want a photo. I wanted something different. I don't know exactly what. So I was just glancing on Amazon, and I was just brainstorming ideas that I could do, different things that I could put there. And I ended up coming across this artificial tree, which I think is really, really cool. It's artificial, but that is literally like my favorite plant. That style of a plant. It's literally like a miniature tree, and yeah, so when I seen it artificial, I was like, sold. I got to get it. So I looked at the dimensions and I was like, would it fit in that corner that I have back there? And it looked like it would fit. So I ended up ordering it, and yeah, I got it. So I think it looks really, really nice. And I will tell you in a second what that represents. At the time when I bought it, I really didn't have a symbolism behind it. But now that I have it set up and as I reflected on it, I will share with you what it represents for me. And also, I want to mention as well the four Buddhas that I have right there. My grandmother got me, so it's a bit sentimental. My grandmother got me those when I was getting my Spinraza injection. She came with us for one of my injections, and she after my injection, we ended up going out to eat, and there was some shops around where we just got done having dinner. And as we were walking around, we ended up going into this shop, but she was like pretty adamant, like she really, really wanted to get me something. She's like, "Mijo, like, what do you think about this shirt?" Or "Mijo, what do you think about this?" Or "What do you think about that?" Like she really, really, really just wanted to get me something, and ended up I didn't want her to spend any money on me, but she like really, really just wanted to get me something, and ended up seeing these Buddhas, and I was just only going to get one because they were like, I don't know, maybe like $3 to $5 just for one, roughly around there. And she was like, "Okay, well, pick one out." So I got one, and as you know, she realized that each Buddha was different, you know, because each one represents. There's four different kinds of Buddhas, which are up there, and each of them were different. And she was like, "Oh wow, like what does it mean?" So you know, one represents wealth, the other one represents happiness, the other one is prosperity, and the other one is health. And when she seen that, she was like, "Oh, get them all, right?" And so I ended up getting them all. I ended up getting all four that they had. So I thought it would be pretty cool to put around the artificial tree up there. And yeah, so it's a bit sentimental, and I like it to be in the camera shot. I think it looks nice. And but regarding the symbolism, the representation for the tree is at the end of my videos, I always say, grow through what you go through. And as I was reflecting off of that, again, in the moment when I bought it, I really didn't have a symbolism behind it. But after I bought it and after I got it set up and everything, I ended up having my own personal symbolism, representation for that tree in the background right there. And I started reflecting off of my content, which is again, grow through what you go through. And it's true because in life, you are in life, you are sometimes going to feel buried. You are going to feel smothered in darkness. But it is in those moments that when the storms of life happen to come, it is the rain that helps you begin to break through everything you are going through, because it is nature that will help you nourish everything that you are going through to help you break through what it is you're going through. But if you can find the faith within the process, if you can find the endurance to endure everything that you are going through, and you can find the patience that just because you see very little to no growth right now doesn't mean that you will not get there. So the symbolism for me is again, which is my brand representation, which is grow through what you go through. But the tree is the tree of life. You are going to have to, you know, build your foundation. Have those roots go deep. So that way when the storms of life come, it may shake you, but it cannot break you. So when the storms of life come, you find a way to utilize the rain to help you nourish, to help you cleanse, to help you sprout, to help you break through the very things that make you feel like you are supposed to stay there in darkness. So when the storms of life come, I want you to allow the water to help nourish you. And I want you to develop the patience that although you may see very little to no growth right now, that if you can find the willingness to endure, keep the faith within the process, find the courage to continue to show up regardless of how life may look for you, and you keep that optimism mentality that where you are, it isn't where you always will be. You allow yourself the fighting chance to become who you were always destined to be, which is become the victor within your own story. I like it because the tree of life, it's all about growth, adapting to your environment, watering it daily, taking care of it, looking after it, doing everything you can to help it nourish, to help nourish it. Excuse me, I had to adjust myself. I was getting really uncomfortable. Um, but um, but yeah, I wanted to share that with you guys. I'm going to I know I mentioned this several videos before, but now that I have this new camera set up. Oh, and something too I want to mention as well, before I end this video here, is with my new camera setup as well, I'm able to simply I found a software where I can literally just go onto the software, click record, and record the content. And I can record the content, I can edit the content, and the software I currently use is Clipchamp, I believe. It's a Microsoft software, but yeah, it's something very very convenient for me. So I can literally just pull up in front of my computer, both on the good and bad days with my disability, and have a topic in mind and an idea in mind, and click record and talk, and it makes it very very convenient for me. Um, yeah, and I wanted to share that as well. But yeah, so um, I forgot the beginning of the title of this video. I think it's my new camera setup, or what. I forgot the title of the video, but oh, I hope you got value from this video. I wanted to personally document this process, document this point in my life. It's a little bit I don't know, it's means something to me, and um, who knows, maybe there's some form of value that will mean something for you as well. I love you. I appreciate you. And remember, grow through what you go through. Much love.